Okay, let's see here. Welcome back, everybody. We took a month off. Now we're here in 2023. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday, Christmas and New Year's, and look forward to this year being better than last year, hopefully. So Santa Claus got me some dishes and some cool things, so I'm pretty happy. And I don't know what anybody else wants to share their gifts, but if not, we'll continue on. So let's see here. So in the news, in December, Apple released iOS 16.2, which was a minor release to the big fiasco they had with the 16.0 upgrade in September. I don't know if you guys remember all that craziness. So 16.2 is the current version. And a few more weeks they're going to come up with the 16.3, which will have even more fixes. But this one is a very good version. It's the best one thus far. So I would definitely be on it if you're not on it by now. And
Okay.
when 16.3 arrives, you can go to that one too, because that's just a minor update. The ones we have to watch out for are the whole number ones, like from 16 to 17, 15 to 16. Those are the ones that we might want to use more caution before updating, because we learned from this last time how awful they can be if they're not tested properly. So, okay, any questions about that, or are we okay?
Okay.
Right. Continuing on, there are rumors that this year they're going to announce the headset they've been working on, the AR/VR headset. I mentioned it maybe a year ago. But and these are rumors. Apple hasn't confirmed or denied anything, but these are usually pretty good sources that this is coming from. So they're thinking later in the year they'll probably announce this product. And the rumor is they're going to announce it, and then they're thinking that it might end up ultimately down the road, not this year, next year. Maybe these wearables are going to replace what we're using today for the iPhone in our hands, but we'll see about that. And then the other thing they're working on, but they may not announce that, they're supposed to be working on an Apple car, from what I understand. But this is rumors, so I could be wrong. That's what I've heard. So we'll see how that comes up. So any question on the news stuff?
Where do you hear the rumors?
Every day I check my news feed, and one of those sources for my news is called Mac Rumors. And these are people that have well-placed employees in Apple and suppliers and patent offices and things. And they use that to determine what Apple's kind of working on, because Apple is very hush-hush about their new projects. So that's where this is all coming from. And 9 times out of 10, they're right. It may not come out at the time they're thinking, or maybe some slight differences in what they say it's going to look like. But they're usually pretty right on that. So,
hey, Manny, it's Maggie.
Hi, Maggie.
You remember you talked to us about the app that was going to come out that would let us know if the door was open or shut or which way? I thought that was supposed to have been out with the 16. What goes on?
I think the app is going to be something from, well, there's an app from SuperSense, but I haven't had a chance to look into that because I don't have those capabilities on my phone, so I couldn't test it. But I'll make a mental note to test that and have that for you for next month. So
okay,
how to actually use it in the real world to find doors and things that we talked about before.
Hi,
so,
Margo.
So the answer is I don't know how to use that feature yet.
Oh,
so,
okay. Thank you.
Okay, so
Margot's here.
hi, Margo.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm late.
No problem. All righty. So if there's no questions about the news, or has anybody heard anything that they want to share before I get started on the topics?
No.
All right. Oh, by the way, before I get started, Patty, Santa Claus brought Patty a Kasori Smart Oven, and that's supposed to be compatible with the Aid Lady, meaning you can set the temperature by voice and the time it cooks by voice. As far as I know, Patty and I, we haven't really used it yet because we're still trying to learn how to figure out how to talk to it and things, because there is a little configuration issue. But the promise of that is that you don't have to, that you can do it all with your phone, or you can command it with your voice. So we're hoping that's going to be something that maybe Patty might be able to give us a little bit of information on when she starts using it. Is that
Yes,
correct?
I will. I will. Every time I go on the app, I start trying to learn how to, there's a lot of information, and then they show me a recipe, and then I get lost in the recipe. There's so many recipes on the little app, and I love recipes. So I start looking into the recipe instead of how to operate my oven yet, but I'll get to it. It sounds like it's gonna be very nice, but I'm not
Patty,
there
is
yet.
it a countertop oven?
Excuse me?
Is it a countertop oven?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a food dehydrator, a toaster oven, and a oven, and an air fryer. It's all in one.
Does
and
it
it's
have French doors?
No, no, it looks like a toaster oven, just like a
Oh,
toaster
okay.
oven. And then it just has 3 different trays, to, if you're gonna fry,
Sure.
you put this one. If you're gonna, do something else, you put this other one. But it's the same, almost the same sizes of a toaster oven. It's a little larger than that. But the whole thing is that you could change it with the A lady from,
Mhm.
from oven to fryer to, I'm very interested in dehydrating, food. So
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to, to be able to do that. But like I said, I was keep telling Manny, I get lost in the recipes, and I just start reading recipe after recipe, and then I don't learn. I mean, it tells you everything right there, how to mix, how to do this. And this is a Kasori. It's called a Kasori oven. And
Yeah, that's a good brand.
Kasori, they have their own chefs. So
Mhm.
all these recipes are like, they're different to me. They're just like very interesting. For some reason, I'm like, oh, I just get lost in that. But one day I'm gonna surprise Manny and say, guess what? I'm cooking it. So we'll see. But so far it's nice and clean, and it's in the corner there, still waiting for me to go in there. So not yet, but I will do it.
Well,
Yeah.
they're making a lot of smart appliances. I've got a smart pressure cooker, and they
Yeah.
make smart, smart slow cooker.
Really?
Yeah,
See?
so it'll work with Alexa.
Ooh.
Oh, that's great.
But
How is
the new slow cooker is also brown. They don't just slow
Yes.
cook. And
How is
that means
how's your pressure cooker? Do you have it
it's
connected?
very blind friendly, because Ethel
Is it?
got one, and it was very easy to learn to use.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So, and
Can
I've
I
got
put
lots of
something
pressure
in-
cookers.
Yeah, and as you well know,
Maggie again. I know that Manny's got a new washer and dryer, and if any of you have to get them, some of the new ones, the Samsung, I had to buy one. Mine died. And they work off your iPhone. You
Mm-hmm.
can set them, you can turn them on, you can pick the setting and everything and do it all on your iPhone.
Oh yeah.
You run into it, yeah. And I know Manny told me his worked like that too.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're set and like uses your Wi-Fi and your A lady and everything. You can go in and you can you can just program it the way you want. So instead of using your vision to find the setting on the dial, you can just do it with voiceover. It'll say, you know, towels or whatever, heavy duty or whites or whatever. And then you can just have it start right from your phone. And that's the great thing about these smart devices, because you don't have to have vision to use them. Like setting the oven to 375 is really hard if you can't see the display, you know, and when you're tapping on the button, it's not talking to you.
Right.
This mitigates that, and now you can hear it and say, oh, it's at 375. I'm going to go ahead and just keep it on for an hour. And so you take care of two things at one time. It's pretty nice. That's what I'm hoping that the oven does for Patty. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. go ahead.
Manny, it's Barbara. What brand is yours?
It's a Cosori, C-O-S-O-R-I.
No, I meant what brand is your washer and dryer?
Same brand. No, let me see.
Isn't it LG?
I think it's LG.
No, mine-
I can go look if you'd like, if you just give me like a second, but
I think it's LG. I think it's LG.
I believe
Mine's
so.
Samsung. Yeah, mine's a Samsung.
Right, so there's different ones now.
But
Oh,
they
yeah.
work the same. They work exactly the same.
Most of them are most of them have the Wi-Fi now.
Mhm.
Just so cool. I'm like, wow. If they could only just pick from the hamper, you know, and separate our clothes, then we'll be ready now.
I
Jeez.
have a 3-compartment hamper. So when I want to do my laundry, I just pick up the one container that has what I want to wash, and they're all
Mhm.
separated when I take them off.
Wow, that's very
That's
smart.
smart, Nancy.
Yeah, well, I like to do laundry. I don't like
Yeah.
to do the rest, but
I love doing laundry and drying and all that, but I hate putting it away.
yeah, I got that figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh. No,
Right,
Manny's washer and dryer sings a little song when it's finished.
That's right.
I
Yeah, it
have
does really-
my dryer is my old dryer, and it goes, "Rah!" It screams at me when it's done. And Manny is like a little Irish song, sings and stuff. I'm like, whatever. I
It's very
hate it.
fancy, very fancy. So,
Yeah.
and the takeaway on this is that if you're looking for something in your house that you could use before, you might be able to find it in a smart device. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. You know, pretty much anything can be controlled by your phone and your voice. So if there's something you can't do now and you're interested in it, you know, I can even help you if you ask me the question, you know, of what thing you might need. And I could look into it for you if you'd like. So there's that. So, okay, well, if there's no questions about smart devices and ovens and whatnot, I'll get to the first thing.
Well, let me mention one thing.
Oh, sorry.
So I was looking for a washer maybe 5 years ago, and there was hardly anything with buttons. Everything was going digital. And then I just got myself a new refrigerator, and I was looking at the different, you know, appliances. Now all buttons are coming back, even though they're Wi-Fi capable and all that. The buttons, well, I was at Lowe's looking for appliances. The stoves are they're bringing the dials to the front, which is
Mine's. Mhm.
awesome.
I have a GE and my dials are on the front. It's usually electric stoves. They were on the
Yes.
back and I couldn't see them anymore.
Yeah,
So I made sure I bought an electric stove with dials on the front.
right. But like I
I-
said, 5 years ago, it was so hard to find anything. Everything was going digital, and I guess
Mhm.
they found out that, you know, people still need, even though a lot of stuff. I mean, even the refrigerator when I was looking for refrigerators, there was one. It was the one that like the phone, like the one that Maggie mentioned. That's their new line of refrigerators, and they had a a pad in the front of the on the door where you could make your own list, digital for your grocery list. It was just crazy. I'm like, oh my God. But
Happened.
what I was so happy is that dials are coming back, even though, more and more appliances have
You
the
have my phone?
Bluetooth capability.
Oh, okay, she called back. All right.
And that's all I had to say.
All right, let's get on the lesson.
Okay, so the first thing I have on the lesson is sharing a voicemail message. This is something that Barbara and I went over yesterday, and she wanted me to include it in the lesson. So let's say that somebody leaves you a voicemail and you want to share that audio voicemail with somebody else. Well, there's a way to do that. So let me show you. So the first thing you do is you're going to go into,
50 p.m.
hold on, let me open up my phone here. So your voicemails are located in your phone app. The phone function is actually just another application that runs on your phone, by the way. When you answer and make calls, that's just another app running. It's not a special thing. So we're going to go to the phone app.
Phone. Phone.
This is a tabbed interface. At the very bottom, you have 5 tabs. You're going to go to the one all the way to the right. Now, a great way to find those tabs, if you're using your finger to explore by touch, is to come up from the bottom below the screen and listen for the word tab. So I'm going to do that here so you guys can hear it. So I'm going right to the bezel under the screen. I'm coming up.
Tab bar. Recents. Tab.
So it's saying tab bar recents, and then it's a tab number, probably tab 2, I think.
Recents. Tab. 2 of 5.
So it tells you what tab you're on and what ordinal position you are in the tab list. Now I know, because I teach this stuff, that tab 5 is voicemail. So I'm just going to swipe to the right with one finger and get over to the voicemail tab. So let me do that. So I'm going to swipe to the right.
Contacts. Tab. 3 of 5. Keypad. Selected. Voicemail. Tab. 5 of 5.
So you hear what it said? Selected, voicemail, 5 of 5. If it doesn't say selected, or if you're not sure, you'll just double tap on that tab to make sure it's the current one. Okay. And then if you want to find your voicemails, what I do is if you don't want to explore by touch, meaning moving your finger up the screen like this, just dragging it on the screen.
Blocked messages. Deleted messages. Aileen Hurtado.
If you could also you could drag your finger and find something, or you could do a 2-finger swipe up just to begin reading. And when you hear what you want, you can stop it with 2 fingers. So let me just do that, because I know it's just going to be a real quick reading. So I'm going to do a 2-finger swipe up.
Reading. Button. Voicemail. Setting. Edit. Button. Aileen Hurtado. Edit.
Oops.
Button.
So
Aileen Hurtado.
I use a 2-finger touch to stop it on Aileen, because that's where voiceover is. That's where I want it to be. Okay, so that's a lesson in how to navigate to a voicemail. Now let's share it. So I believe there's 2 ways to share it. Let me just see if the first way is right. I'm going to swipe up with 1 finger on this voicemail message and see if it comes up. Let's see.
Share.
Oh, it's right there. It's the very first swipe.
The first one.
Swipe up with 1 finger and you share it. So I'm going to double tap. And then
Aileen Hurtado.
a standard share menu comes up. So you can share it by airdropping to somebody who's close to you. Like if I wanted to share it with Patty, I could probably share it with her right now. You could choose to share it with somebody you recently shared something with. That'll be on the top. But the most important thing is you can share with by sending it in a message or maybe an email. So let's go to the email. I'll just swipe a few times and then I'll just get right down to the email part. So right now I'm in the dialogue and it has Aileen Hurtado as a title because that's the voicemail that I'm sharing. So I'm going to swipe to the right.
Audio recording. 1/16/23.
So it recognizes the voicemail as an audio recording because that's what it is. It's a special file that contains audio. So we're going to keep going.
Close. Button. Manuel's MacBook Pro.
So it sees my MacBook Pro, so I can share it with my computer if I want to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to shortcut down over to the email guy, and I'm just going to come down.
AirDrop. Messages. Mail. Button.
So let's say I want to send that to Barbara. What I would do is I would double tap on the mail thing.
Mail. Button. Cancel. Button.
Okay, and then I'm on the cancel button, so I have to see what's going on here.
New message.
So I'm swiping to the right. So I'm swiping, I get to new message.
Send. Dimmed. 2. Text field.
So I want
Double
to
tap to edit.
double tap and address it to Barbara. So I'm going to do that. Double tap.
2. Text for insertion point at end.
I'll just use find the B key real quick. You could also dictate and the whole 9 yards here, but we'll just go to the B key real quick.
B. Results. Barbara McPherson.
So I would type.
MacFirstLow at AOL.com.
I'm going to do that.
Romani at gmail.com.
And then that's all I need to do. After that, I got the email created. If I hit the send button, Barbara will receive this in an email with the voicemail attached as an audio file that she can play. And that's how you share a voicemail with somebody else. So any questions about that?
No.
Okay, well, all right. So of course I'm going to cancel this out because I'm sure Barbara doesn't want to hear Eileen's voicemail. So I'm going to hit cancel.
Cancel. Button. Cancel. Alert. Delete draft. Button.
Of course, I'll delete the draft.
Delete draft. Aileen Hurtado.
And of course, the share menu will still be up, so we'll close that. But the idea is that not just voicemails, but anything on the phone can pretty much be shared, whether it's photos that you have, videos, text message, pieces of a conversation in text messaging, just about anything, any documents you create, files, you can share any of those things. And that's how you get files to other people, you share them. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next thing. Next thing I have is another thing that went over on Monday was the new search feature in Bard. It's really nice if you haven't been in Bard for a while. When you would look for a book, you would go to the Bard webpage in the program, and it was a real hokey process. So what they've done now is they've just put a simple search bar up there. You just type in whatever you want in that search, and then you just get a results list that's real easy to choose and download from. So why don't we search for something in Bard and try that out? Has anybody seen the new search function in Bard, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you avid readers
Manny?
know what I'm.
Manny, can you show them how to do it by dictation?
Sure. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this voicemail thing, and then I'm going to open up Bard next. So you'll hear the phone talking for a second. So.
Doc. Phone. App switcher. Phone. Closing phone.
All right, so what I tell my students to do is to use Siri to open apps. But I find when I do that, when I'm listening to this later, my phone starts opening apps automatically when I'm listening to it. So I'm just going to use the other way to open apps. I'm just going to find Bard.
Bard mobile.
To open apps, you would tell Siri to open them. That's the fastest, best, easy way to do that. So I'm just going to go to Bard.
Bard mobile.
Open that up.
Bard mobile.
So
System message. Okay. Button.
oh, there's a system message from Bard if you haven't logged in.
Right.
They're going to be changing some stuff on their website, not on the application itself, but I think on the website itself when you go onto the browser. And I'm not going to play the whole message, but the gist of it is they're going to change it, and I think they're looking for people to test it. So
And they're going to be, and you're not going to be able to download a book tomorrow.
that's right. It's going to be down for about 10 hours. In fact, well, let me play this thing so everybody's in the know. Okay, I don't know if everybody's in the know here. It's not very long. Okay. So it's a textual alert. So let me see here.
System message. Hello, everyone. A reminder to those who have already seen this message. BARD will be taken offline for 11 hours on Wednesday, January 18th, 2023, beginning at midnight Tuesday night until 11 a.m. on Wednesday, all times Eastern. NLS will be taking the first step toward provision in what will be a new and updated BARD experience one day in the future. This Wednesday's updates will take place in the background exclusively. This means there will for the moment be no front-facing changes to BARD. It does, however, mean BARD is being updated to allow for the next version of the BARD website. On that note, NLS will be looking for volunteers for people who would be interested in beta testing the next version of the BARD website. Stay tuned for that announcement in the weeks to come.
And I think
Patrons participating in the Smart Speaker project can continue streaming books during Wednesday.
that's the gist of it. I don't know what else you're saying there, but that's basically the gist. So I'm gonna hit OK. That's just okay, I heard it, I got it. Okay, I'm gonna hit OK.
Okay, but
So-
recently, system message. Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Okay,
they do it
so
twice.
what we want to do is we want to go to the place where we're going to search for books. That's tab number 2. And we've gone over this app before, so I won't go explain all the tabs. The first tab is bookshelf. The second tab is
Tab bar. Get books.
get books.
Tab. Do reflect.
Now, all you have to do now is just go from the very top and find the search thing. So I usually do a 2-finger swipe up just so you can hear what the screen sounds like. It's a couple of items and then search will come up.
Get books. Heading. Search.
There it
Wish
is.
list.
Search.
Search.
Okay, so we're going to do
Double
that.
tap for search.
Double tap for search.
Selected. Search. Search field.
What would you like me to search for, Barbara?
Search for that new one. I can't see with my gloves on.
Okay, we'll do that. I can't see with my gloves on. Let's see. So I'm going to double tap on this field. As always, you have to open the field up for editing
Search. Search field.
and double tap.
Double tap insertion point at end.
And I'm gonna dictate what Barbara just said. I can't see with my gloves on.
Inserted. I can't see with my gloves on.
And then once you dictate that in there, all you have to do is swipe to the right and there will be a search or a go button, whatever they call it. So let me go over here.
Clear text. Button.
Well, that's not it.
Go.
Go.
Button.
Can we go?
Go. Empty list.
So it's searching. It takes a
I
second.
can't see with my gloves on. Scrivener. Linda G.
That's
Total time 3 hours 30 minutes.
it.
And what's great about that is in the past, we'd have to go to that box, type it in, then you get another page and you got to drill down and find it, then add it to the wish list. If I just want to download that book right now, I just double tap on it and it begins downloading. And I don't know if I should do it because my
Yes,
internet.
double tap. You'll
Okay,
like it.
we'll try it.
I can't see alert. Confirmation.
Hmm.
Would you like to download this title?
So I double tap right on where it was. I didn't move it or swipe or anything. And it's giving me the confirmation. And when I hit OK, it's going to begin downloading the book and it'll give me like a doorbell chime when it's done.
Okay. Button.
Close.
Downloading. I can't see with my glove.
Of course, my internet's a lot slower than some people's, like Barbara. She's got a real fast internet now. So it comes down in like 5 or 10 seconds max. Mine takes a little
Some
longer.
people.
I know. These rich people. So anyway, it's downloading. It's downloading now. I don't know how long it's going to take. We'll give it like a few more seconds.
Oh.
Take all the time waiting for it. But I can assure you it's downloading. It's not saying anything to me. Let me see if I can swipe over to the thermometer here.
More info. Downloading. More info. Progress. 22%.
So it's at 22%. So
22%.
Down to select a custom action.
Barbara-
Double tap to act.
Barbara would have had about 6 books down by now. So, so anyway, it's downloading, and then when it's done, it'll do its familiar chime. And the reason I'm showing you this is because it's so much better than it used to be. And I imagine they're probably going to replicate these changes to their website. I think that's what these new changes are. So you don't have to fill in all those weird fields and go down to the author's last name and find the G. And then it was a big mess.
That was
So-
stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, so they finally got their heads on straight and did it this way. There it is, okay. So my book's downloaded, and of course, we're in a download kind of search results page. So we got to close out of that. Then you got to remember about these apps is when you open something up and it comes up, the thing that you were on is underneath. You have to open things up and then you have to head back in the same direction and close things back to get back to where you started. So I've got to close this now to get back to the previous screen. So I don't know where that is. Well, let's look for it. I'll just swipe to the left.
Sort by latest. Sort by sort go. Dictate. I can't see search results. Search. Back button.
Back button right there. We do that.
Search.
Now that's
Search.
gone.
Search.
And now we're back on a blank search screen. You don't have to clear out the search results. It's ready for the next one. So that's kind of cool. They thought this out a little bit. They didn't just make you do a lot of work around the search. So that book should be on my bookshelf, which is on tab 1 at the bottom. So if I take my finger and I come up from the bottom, like I showed you before, and you listen for the tab strip, whatever you call it.
Selected. Get books. Tab 2 or 4.
That's get books, but I want to go to bookshelf, and I know bookshelf's the first tab, and we're on tab 2 of 4, so I got to swipe to the left.
Bookshelf. Tab 1 of 4.
Go there.
Selected. Bookshelf.
Now,
Select
and
category.
in bookshelf, we have to get the category of the media that we have from there, because you can have books, you can have magazines. If you have a Braille display, you can have Braille books and magazines, okay? So let's swipe to audiobooks, because that's what this was that I just downloaded, and I'm going to go in there and see if it's there. It should be there, so let me do that.
Audiobooks. 9 items.
So I got 9 audiobooks. Let me go in there.
2001. A Space Odyssey.
So that's not it.
Cart. More info. Black holes. More in the dead zone. More in the family lawyer. More info. I can't see with my gloves on.
There it is.
Scrivener. Linda G.
So if I wanted to read that book, I would double tap and then the player would come up. Okay. So that's the new search in Bard, and it's way easier. It's way better. And if you've been hesitant about getting this app, I would definitely get it now. It's really a good app now.
Manny, it's
yeah.
Maggie.
Yes.
One thing that I found that is a blessing, if you find an author and you like them, let's take Tom Clancy, but you don't know what order the books came in. It used to be they just came up. Now, if you get them up, they have them in chronological order.
Oh, that's
Not
great.
in the bookshelf, but as you're searching. So
Mhm.
like they'll start with Hunt for Red October and then go chronologically. So you don't have to know the way it was written or where the book was in the series.
That's great. You know, I didn't know that. I haven't gone that deep. So that's wonderful, Maggie. So maybe it's I'll put a pin in that and maybe show that off later when I play with it a little bit. It's a real good idea. So yeah, thanks for that. And I got
It helps
another.
sometimes.
Yeah. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is a continuation of this Bard thing. You know, one thing about Bard that's really neat is that they try hard to set up navigation in this media, very, very easy. You know, I don't know how to. Let me try to speak English here. The navigation is hard because nobody really, you know, especially if you get a periodical like Reader's Digest, let's say, or Rolling Stone or any kind of magazine that they sell. Well, you're not going to want to read it cover to cover. You don't do that in real life. You just really want to go to the article that interests you. Well, guess what? You can navigate by article. And I'm going to show you that because I downloaded this month's Reader's Digest for this class. And I think I got it on the player. So we're going to go over there and make sure that's the guy that we're playing. And I'm going to show you where the controls are on the player and how to move by whatever navigation granularity you want to use, meaning go by a section, a subsection, go by a chapter, go by an article, go even by a phrase. I haven't tried the phrase thing out. but let's look into that. So we're gonna look at Reader's Digest, and I'm gonna see if I can navigate by article, okay? So you gotta go to the last tab at the bottom. So again, from the bottom of the phone, you come up to the tab strip.
Tab bar. Selected. Bookshelf. Tab. 1 of 4.
So that's 1 of 4. So I know that the 4th tab is the player. I'm gonna swipe 3 times over the player. Do that.
Netbooks. Settings. Now reading.
Now reading. This,
4 of 4.
so it's called Now Reading. So if you want to know what's now reading and you can't see the screen, you can always use a 2-finger swipe up and then stop it when you've heard enough. That is a very good tool to keep in mind for any screen anywhere. That's why I'm kind of pushing it tonight to learn that skill. It's very important as far as knowing what's in front of you. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to stop it when we know what it is. I think it's Reader's Digest, but I'm not sure. I'm going to do that now.
Recently read. Button. Airplay. Button. Reader's Digest. December 2022.
Okay, so that's Reader's Digest. I just did a 2-finger touch to stop it reading so I could talk to you. Now, we're going to swipe through the controls, but the ones I want you to really pay attention to are the ones that I'm going to stop on. We're just going to go through them real quick. There's about 4 or 5, but you know, have some patience with me here, and it'll pay off. So I'm going to keep swiping.
Navigation. Button.
Okay, there's a navigation.
To display navigation lists.
So they have a navigation button up on the top where you can see all of the navigation options, but the navigation is actually further down. So let me keep swiping over there, okay?
World of Good Reasons to Smile. Author. Narrator. Book number. 0 hour. Current sleep timer.
Okay, now we're on the controls that are on the player itself, not in the heading area. That's all a bunch of that stuff we just heard. So you got the sleep timer.
Bookmark.
You can actually create bookmarks. And that previous button is where you do this navigation. So you have previous, and then you have
Jump by article.
jump by, and right now it's by
Double
article.
tap to change navigation.
And then you have next.
Next.
Those 3 buttons are together and they're above the play button area. So you have 2 rows of buttons. The top row has this navigation. So if I wanted to navigate to the next article, I would press this button here.
Next. Button.
Next button. So I'm going to double tap
Double
that.
tap for next article. Recently read. Button. Story. Double tap to display.
Now VoiceOver is talking, but it said the article name when it wasn't talking. So let me go back one, and then I'm going to stop VoiceOver right away so you can hear what it's saying. So I'm going to go back.
Previous. Button. World of Good. Reasons to smile.
So that's the audio description of the previous article. The next article, if I hit the next button, will be a different thing.
Next. Button. Everyday Heroes. A Christmas Story.
And then, of course, you can navigate that way. The button in between previous and next allows you to adjust the granularity of the back and forth. So if I go to the button, right now it's going to be on article, I believe.
Jump by article. Button.
So you can jump by article, and
Double tap to change.
and this changes by each book. It depends on what markers they put into the audio file. So this one has articles. Let's see what else it's got.
Jump by section.
You just double tap the button to change the way you jump. Now it's by section. I don't know what that means. Keep going.
Jump by subsection.
Subsection,
Jump by phrase.
phrase.
Jump by bookmark.
And then you have, if you put bookmarks in there, you can jump by your own custom bookmarks. And then we keep going.
Menu. Jump by article.
And of course, the default is to jump by article. And then now this is for the Reader's Digest periodical. If you were in a book, you might have chapters and you might have sections and subsections as well. But article is usually for periodicals, magazines, and whatnot. So any questions about that? About jumping around in a book? Okay. I must have explained it very well. So, all right. let me see what's next on the list here. Okay. So another thing that I went over on Monday was donating to the NFB using the Lyft app. So what Lyft has done is they've created like a donation center, okay? And one of the charities you can donate to, or the organizations you can donate to, is the NFB. So if you want to support the NFB, you can go into the Lyft app, and I'm going to show you how to do this in just a second. And you can go to the donation area, and you can select the NFB as the charity that you want to donate to. And basically what it does is that you agree to round up whatever dollar, like if you have $5.50 for a ride, okay? And they would take that other 50 cents and round it up to $6. That's what you would be charged. But that 50 cents would go to the NFB or the organization of your choice. That's correct, Barbara, right? I got that right?
That is correct.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you where that's at in the application. Okay, so I'm going to close BARD unless there's any more questions, and then we're going to go into Lyft now. So let me do that.
BARD mobile. Apps BARD mobile. Closing BARD mobile.
All right, I'm going to go to Lyft.
Lyft.
Dun, 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 loading up. I don't have any music. Oh, here we go. Now, there's a menu button in the Lyft app. If you do a 2-finger swipe up, it might be the first thing. So let's see. Oops, maybe not.
Menu.
All right there. Menu button.
Where? Menu. Button.
So you double tap on that. And of course, the menu shows.
Close. Button.
So we'll swipe through and get to it's towards the bottom.
Manny. Lyft pick notice. Right. Aim. Get rewards. Donate.
Donate.
Button.
It's called donate. So I'm going to go there.
Donate. Back. Button.
And then you got this other screen.
Millions lack access to transportation and basic needs. Your small change map.
So anyway, that's just explaining the program. You can read that on your own. I won't waste your time here. So keep going.
Choose an organization.
So there's a button where you choose the organization that you want to send your round up dollars to. And that when you hit that button.
Choose an organization. Heading.
Oh, it's a heading. What am I doing? Let me go down.
Roundup and donate partners. Heading. American Cancer Society.
See, American Cancer Society, got a lot of them, but there is an NFB listing down here. I'll see if I can find it by just exploring by touch.
And Goodwill Register. Oka Asian Pacific National Federation of the Blind.
Right there.
Button.
You would choose that, and then once you agree to that, then when you book a ride, you will only have full dollar amounts charged to your card, and then the change that's left in the dollar amounts from the price you paid for the ride to the upper dollar amount, the whole dollar amount, that will go to the NFB. And this is a good way to support them, by the way. I would definitely encourage that because it's not a lot of money, and then they get it, so it's kind of nice. So, any questions about that? All right. Did my plug for the NFB. Let's see what we got here now. Okay. Blind Life. Okay, Barbara wanted me to go over the Blind Life YouTube channel. Barbara, is there anything you want to say about that channel before I go and do that? I know that they have a lot of articles or videos concerning our needs. That's correct,
Yeah,
right?
he has a lot of stuff up there.
And the guy's name is Sam, correct?
Sam, yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to him on the phone before. He's a real nice guy. He's really easy to talk to, and he actually is a good guy in our area of the world. So what you do is you can go into Safari or wherever, and then you can look for Blind Life, the Blind Life channel, which I'm going to do now. And then when you find the channel, you just bookmark it. You could also subscribe to it if you'd like, and you would be notified when new videos are posted by Sam or whoever on the Blind Life. All right. So I'm going to close Lyft unless there's any questions, and do that.
lift. App switch, lift. Closing lift. Calendar, Tuesday.
All right, I'm gonna go to Safari and go to the YouTube. Now, my phone might act a little differently than yours because I do have the YouTube app. And sometimes it's very smart. When I start doing YouTube things, it jumps out of Safari right into my app. So there might be a little different experience. But the gist of this is you find it and then you can bookmark it. I think that's probably the takeaway for this piece here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Safari.
Safari. Safari.
Now, I already have YouTube marked as a favorite. So let me go there.
Show less. Home. YouTube.
So
Button.
you swipe to the right a few times and all your favorites will show up if you're not already in a website from the last session. So that's kind of nice to have that up. So I'm going to do that.
YouTube. Link banner. Landmark.
Okay, so now YouTube is up. Now there's going to be a search option on YouTube. I'm not going to swipe through all of the heading stuff because we'll be here for a while. I'm gonna use my finger and come down a little bit to where I think it might be, and then I'll just let you hear what the thing is that you have to tap on to get this to search. Let me do that.
YouTube. Search YouTube. Button.
So search YouTube button. For the visual folks, it's like a magnifying glass in a square button. I'm going to do that.
Search web dialog. Search YouTube. Combo box.
So, and if one double tap wasn't enough, they want you to do another one so you can edit the search field.
Search YouTube. Combo.
Now I can dictate in there, and I'm going to dictate the words Blind Life Channel. Do that now. Blind Life Channel.
Inserted blind live channel.
I don't know if it said live, so I think I
Didn't
did
say
that wrong.
life.
Let me
It
do
didn't
that.
say life.
Yeah. I must have said it wrong.
Delete.
I'm going to take it out and try it again.
Tab B.
So this is an old guy trying to go too fast. So I'm going to try a little slower. Blind Life Channel.
Inserted blind live channel.
All right, got it that time. Okay. So now what I want to do is do the search.
Search.
Little button.
Search. YouTube. Link banner. Landmark.
So now we swipe to the right until we get to the channel. So let's do that.
Blind live channel. Button.
So there's a button right
Blind
there.
live channel. Block web dialog. Blind live channel. Clear current. Search you. Vertical scroll toolbar. Web dialog. Blind live channel. Combo box. Clear current. Search YouTube. Button. Account. YouTube. The best technical solution for the blind.
Now I'm swiping to the right, and when I hear it, I'll stop and tell you what it sounds like. Okay. So
Action menu. AD. Explore.orcam. Visit site. The blind life. Heading level 4. Link.
so I think that's it. I think
At Deadland Life. 51.3K subscribers.
so.
Link.
That kind of tells you it's the channel because it's not a video. It's actually the Blind Life, and it's talking about how many subscribers it has. So you can just tap on their name.
At Deadland Life. The blind life. Heading level 4. Link.
So heading level 4 link. I'm going to do that.
YouTube. Link banner. Land.
So at this point, now that we're on the Blind Life channel, and let me see if there's some kind of identification on here so you guys can know you're there. Let's see. Swipe to the right.
The blind life. Heading level 1. Search YouTube. Account. Home. Shorts. Tab. Library. Tab. The blind life. Heading level 1. At Deadland Life. Subscribe. 51.3K.
So we're in that channel because there's a subscribe button. That subscribe button would not be just out there for nothing. So we are in the channel. So if you ever want to come back to this channel without doing all the stuff I just did, you would use the share option at the bottom toolbar, and you would come up from the bottom like we've been doing in the past few times and find the share button. Should be down there, I hope.
Videos. Heading level 3.
Let's see.
Page 1 of 3.
Try that again.
Home. Tab. 1 of 3. Shorts. Tab. 2. Toolbar.
There it is.
Show bookmarks.
Toolbar.
Button.
So what we would do is
Share.
we would share,
Share.
and then you just skip down to, there's a lot of share options. You can share it with people and email and all that. But we're just going to use the finger and get down to where we want to be. So you would swipe to the right a few times if you don't want to use the Explore by Touch. I'm going to Explore by Touch by dragging my finger down the screen.
Mama AirDrop. But copy. Add to read. Add bookmark. Add to favorites.
And that's what you're looking for. Add
Oh,
to
add
favorites.
favorites.
You do that, and then it'll be in your favorites. And you can always get back to it. And again, if you were to subscribe on that subscribe button before the share that I did, there's a subscribe button on the page. You would then be notified when new videos are posted on this channel. So, and that's how you do that. It's real simple. You can do this with any website whatsoever. Tucson Society of the Blind, my website, you know, these guys, anybody, Microsoft, whoever, Apple, you can always put them in your favorites. That's kind of what that's all about. Any questions about that? All right, you guys are tough tonight. Wildlife, Safari. Okay, now that we're in Safari, there's another little feature. So if you're using Safari a lot, there is a setting that allows Safari to auto close tabs after a certain period of time. Because if you don't do that, you might leave a lot of tabs open, and every time you use Safari, it'll get slower and slower because it has to maintain those tabs. So in the settings area for Safari, you can auto close these tabs. So I'm going to get out of Safari because we have to go to settings. Let me do that now.
Safari. App Safari. Closing Safari. Safari.
We go to settings.
Settings. Set Wi-Fi.
I'm going to use
Century.
Safari's kind of down the list, so instead of wasting your time by swiping through everything, I'm going to use a 3-finger swipe up to scroll the screen down. So I know how many scrolls I have to do since I know where Safari is. So it's
Rows 5 to rows 20 rows 28 to 39 of 108.
so a Safari's down here.
Safari button.
Going there,
Search setting.
and let's go into
Syrian search. Search engine suggest. Safari suggestion. Quick website. Reload pocket. About the general. Autofill. Favorites. Locked pop-ups. Extensions. Downloads. Tabs. Tab bar. Select. Landscape tab bar. Allow website. Open links. Close tabs. Manually.
So my setting is manually, and the setting is called close tabs. So when you have it set to manually, it never closes them automatically, meaning if I have 300 websites open in 300 tabs, that's what's going to be up there, and it's going to slow down Safari a lot. So I should change my settings, and you should change yours too, to something that automatically closes them after a certain period of time. So you double tap on this setting.
Close tabs. Menu selected. Manually.
Now the options you have are the following. I think there's around 4 of them. So let's hear them.
After 1 day.
You can close them after a day,
After 1 week.
1 week.
After 1 month.
So that's about it. You can leave them open indefinitely, manually, or day, week, month. I'm going to go week.
After 1 month. After 1 week. Selected.
So what'll happen is if you open a tab today, in 8 days, it will automatically close that tab for you. It won't leave it open. Like if you open Safari and then you just close it, or you go to another app and it puts it in the background, that tab will remain open for a whole week before Safari goes in and says, okay, it's time to close that one. And that'll just keep the overhead down that Safari needs to maintain all these websites for you. So very, very good setting for optimization of your phone and to save a little battery life. So any questions about that, that setting? All right. Okay, running through here. I'm
Manny,
sorry?
does that work on Google also?
No, that is a Safari is the built-in browser, and these settings only apply to Safari. Now, Google might have its own settings within the Google browser. There's probably an options there, and they may have a similar setting there. If you'd like, I can make a mental note of this, put a pin in this, and I can look into the Google browser option that's synonymous with this. If
Okay.
you'd like.
That would be
But-
wonderful. Thank you,
Okay. Yeah, and who is this again that asked the question?
Gina.
Gina, how you doing, Gina? Yeah, let
I'm
me look
fine.
into that, and I'll remember to get back to you on that, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Got it. Mhm. Okay. Oh, now it's show and tell time. This is my favorite part. Okay. So
97% charge. Not, try again.
this thing keeps
97%.
talking. Stop talking. Okay. All right. Now, I bought a cane last week and I love it. Okay. This is a telescoping cane. So let me find it here. I hope I found it. Oh yeah, here it is. I get embarrassed. Okay. This cane is about maybe 13 inches wide when collapsed. This is a telescoping cane. It's got a little carry strap. It's got a black handle. You can order canes with different colored handles, a wide variety of different colors. And it's solid aluminum. It's real sturdy. It's not plastic. And then to open it, you just pull it apart like this. I don't know, for you people who can see, you can see me pulling it apart. And it expands to 59 inches. So you can expand it to 59 or less. You know, if you're a shorter person, you would just expand it a little bit less, just to where you need it. This is great because these canes are very much more portable than the folding canes. However, they're not support canes. You can't put weight on these, okay? Because they do collapse like this. But they are highly portable. You can fit it in a purse. You can carry it in your hand. I mean, it's real small and it's very durable. And it comes with a roller tip like this, little round, I don't know, ping pong ball size tip that rolls. Comes with an extra tip. And it comes in a nice black case if you're gonna take it on a trip.
7:30 p.m.
And then it comes with a little felt case. So if you're at a I don't know, at a restaurant, and you don't want to put it on the floor, or you don't want to put the tip on the table where you're eating, you could stick it in this little felt sleeve thing, and then you could put it on the table without getting the table dirty. So it's really a neat thing. They're about $32 at Amazon, and I'll put the link to it if you guys are interested.
Sure.
So any questions about the cane? It's aluminum. It's full aluminum. There's no plastic except for the tip, and it's real sturdy. So
Who makes it?
all I know is it's made in China. That's what it says on here. I asked somebody at the shop last Thursday, is that the manufacturer? And then Janet told me, no, it just says made in China. So and when I send the link, I'll send that information. I don't know who makes it, but it does work really well. And I've been using it. I love it.
Manny, why do you love it? Why do you like that one more?
I like it because when I have the folding cane, you have to fold it up. And then it's this big gargantuan thing in your hand. You know, it's real thick. This is about as thick as maybe an inch thick, maybe, at the handle. And of course, it tapers down to the ball. So when it's collapsed, it's an inch by about 12 inches or 13 inches here. So it's very small and portable, and you can stick it into something really small, like a backpack, or if you're in a car or something, you can put it away in a purse. You know, you don't have to have it out and separate from you because it's so big you can't put it inside of a purse. Maybe I thought it'd be really great for ladies with purses, like, 'cause I think it just fits right into a purse. It's really good. So, just an idea, guys.
Thank you.
I've already turned Hank and Rhonda onto it. I think they ordered it. And Patty and I have other friends, and they've already ordered it too. And as far as I can tell, they both love it. So if anybody's interested, they might want to ask them, or at least ask Hank and Rhonda, see what they think of it. So, and that's it. That's what I got for the show and tell. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, all right. Next item on the list is, let me just make sure. Oh, all right. So this kind of works into, this is two things. So your photo settings on your phone, it's important that if you share photos, that you set the file type that this thing exports when you share it to a compatible type. And what that means in English is that when you share your iPhone photos with your Android friends, they're not going to be able to see your pictures because Apple has its own format. But what you can do is you can make Apple force it to a standard format that Android can read. So Apple has a very high quality, almost a raw format is what they call it. And I don't expect you to know what that is, but basically it's apples and oranges, so to speak, pardon the pun. So the thing is, you have to go into your camera settings and set that to most compatible. And if you do that, any images that you share and videos and whatnot, those will end up being able to be read by pretty much any computer on the planet. So let me go there now and show you where that setting is. And this folds into a question that Annie had for me, and I'm going to go to Annie's. I'm going to give Annie an answer on this. This kind of is related. So let me go in there.
Settings.
Let's see here.
Switch settings.
Oh, we are in settings. Okay, go back there.
Settings.
So we're going to go to the
Phone.
camera.
Button.
Where are we at here?
Search. Search field. Double tap to edit. App switcher. Setting. Calendar.
Close that up.
Tuesday. Settings. Cellular.
So in the front door settings, your name's at the top.
Manuel Celis.
You substitute your name, and in this list, the camera is going to be at this level. So let me just get down there to the camera.
Bluetooth. Rows 5 to 15. General. But rows 12 to 20. FaceApp battery. Privacy. Apps. Wallet and password. Mail. Contact. Calendar. Notes. Remind. Freeform. Voice. Phone. Messaging. FaceTime. Safari. News. Stocks. Weather. Translate. Maps. Compass. Measure. Shortcut. Health. Music. TV. Photos. Camera.
Sorry,
Button.
it's further down than I thought. Okay, so camera,
Camera. Formats. Button.
and I think it's under formats. Let me just make sure.
Record video. Record slow-mo. Record stereo formats. Camera capture. Selected. High efficiency.
All right, so the one you want is the one below that. It's called most compatible.
Most compatible.
And let me let it read to you what it says about most compatible. It might just be repeating what I just said, but let me have it played from the horse's mouth here. Let's see.
Reduce file size. Capture photos and videos in the high efficiency HEIF/HEC format. Most compatible will always use JPEG/H 264, but 4K at 60 frames per second and 1080p at.
Okay, what that means is that everybody's going to be able to see your JPEGs, but if you use the other setting, iPhones will be able to see it, but maybe not everybody out there will be able to see it. So you want to switch that to most compatible, which is that one.
Most compatible.
And that's in camera. It's in settings, then camera, and then formats, and then choose most compatible. Okay. All right, any questions on that one? All right. We are going fast. I may have to just tell personal stories at the end if we go this fast.
Maddie,
Give us
it's
rest.
Maggie again.
Yeah, Maggie.
You did not, I'm going back to our lesson. I think people need to know how to delete a book once they've used it.
Oh, and Bard?
Yeah,
Oh, sure. We can revisit that because yeah, I'll just stick that in between these two topics. So let me do that. Very good, Maggie. Let me do that.
Settings.
So we're going to go into
Double
Bard.
tap to open. App setting. Closing setting.
Bard.
Settings. Bard mobile.
is
Bard
it
mobile.
different from,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So I said, it's different than what it used to be. When they just changed it over, it's completely different than the way you used to get rid of it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be doing it with voiceover on. I don't know if that's how you delete it. Do you delete it with voiceover on or off?
Both ways.
Okay, well, I'm gonna show the voiceover way, and I'm not 100% familiar with the other way, but let me show the voiceover way since that's what most people are using here. So according to what Maggie's saying is you got to go to your bookshelf. So let's do that. Come up from the bottom and find the tab, strip, whatever.
Tab bar.
Tab
Get
bar.
Books. Tab.
So we don't want
Two of
get
four.
books. We want to go to bookshelf.
Bookshelf. Tab. 1 of 4.
And then,
Bookshelf. Select
of
category.
course, your bookshelf has a category of books and magazines. So let's go to an audiobook, I guess.
Audiobooks. 9 items.
There's 9 there.
Audiobooks. 2001. A Space Odyssey.
So I believe there are a few ways to do this, but I'm going to use the swipe up and down method in VoiceOver to see if that works. I think that's the way it works. Let me see.
All books in the Space Odyssey series. All books in science fiction. All books by Kubrick. All books by Clark. Read. More info. Delete.
So there's delete. Probably if you swipe down instead of up, you'll get to that delete a lot faster because it just circles around the menu over and over and over. So you would swipe up or down until you hear the word delete, then you would double tap and then that book would be removed from your bookshelf. That's how you do it with voiceover on. I don't know how to do it with voiceover off. I could try it, but I might mess up. So I don't know if that's what we want to
I
do.
can
here.
tell you, it's real easy. Remember when we had trouble finding it? Well, I messed with it until I found out if you don't have voiceover on,
Mhm.
you go to the bookshelf, find the book you want to delete, swipe to the left, and this great big huge red delete button comes up.
Yeah,
And
that's
you tap
normal.
on that.
That's actually the way most deletes work in lists. Yeah, because this is the list. You're right. So for the visual folks, that's exactly the way it works. You put your finger on it and you drag it to the left. And what's going to happen is it's going to scroll to the left and then these buttons are going to appear, usually a delete button and maybe another button. But you'll hit the big red delete button and then that will do the same as what we were doing in VoiceOver by double tapping on the delete option. So it's 2 ways to roam, the visual and a non-visual way. So yes, Maggie, thanks for that. Appreciate that. So, okay. If there's no other questions about Bard or the photos things that I was talking about before, we'll go to the next thing. So in 16.1 or 2 or I don't know which one it was, they added a button on the lock screen. Now the lock screen is where the time is and any other widgets you've added since this version. And it's also the place where banner notifications are shown, meaning that they're just listed in a list on the screen on the lock screen. So let me go to my lock screen and see if I have any at all. So let me and the way you can get to there quickly is to press and release the power button. Then of course do the home gesture if you have 10R or above, or you just press and release the home button one time if you have an SE or one of the button phones. Okay, so I'm going to touch the screen.
7:43 p.m.
Now I don't have any notifications, so I can't really show you how this works, but I kind of know how it works. So you would swipe down and you're going to see a button or hear a button in this case at the bottom of this screen where the time is called show notifications. And with that, you can go in and manage the notifications right from this screen. You can clear them, you can hear them, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. And I think there's even a clear all button on that dialog. But unfortunately, I don't have a notification, so the button doesn't show. So I'm sorry about that, but trust me, it's there and it does
Manny,
work. Yeah.
What's nice about that button, it shows up as soon as you have a notification. You only have to hit it once, and then you're able to clear those notifications off so they don't drive you nuts all day long.
That's right. And the problem with some notifications is that they're persistent. They'll stay there for a little while before they get knocked off. And if they're a system notification, they may stay on there until you resolve whatever the thing is. If it's an update or whether they want a password for this or that, you might be constantly getting that update, and you can go ahead and clear it on here. And updates usually get cleared as soon as the phone knows that you've seen them, because then the notification has done its job. But Apple has given some notifications more life and they stay on there. This is a way to change that and say, okay, I've heard this thing enough, and I want to clear it now. I don't want to be reminded of this anymore or notified anymore. You can then use that little screen that comes up when you press the show button, the show notifications button that Barbara's talking about. You can then manage those notifications fairly.
Right. So you just flick up until you hear clear.
That's right. That's right. Very good, Barbara. Thank you for that. Okay. Any questions about notifications or the show notifications button that I did not do an example of? So, all right. Okay. Now, for sighted people or low vision people, I would recommend running your phone not using the auto brightness, because auto brightness is designed. So we're talking about screen brightness, by the way. Maybe I should have led with that. So screen brightness. So for low vision people, if you're going to look at the screen and do things, you're going to need more brightness on the screen. So using auto brightness is not good for us because it's too dim, and it tries to conserve. Auto brightness tries to balance the ambient light and the screen so you get a consistent experience no matter what the lighting conditions are around you. But if you can't see very well, then that whole thing doesn't work very well at all. So what you need to do is go into settings and turn auto brightness off. It's called display and brightness, and then you go into auto brightness, and you turn that off. And then you can use Siri to adjust the brightness. You can call up to Siri and you can say increase brightness or decrease brightness just by command. I mean, I can show you, but here, I'll just do it here.
7:47. Try again.
I'm gonna open my phone.
Face ID. Calendar.
Now I'm gonna call up.
Tuesday.
I'm gonna call out to Siri and ask her to increase brightness. Okay, so hey Siri, increase brightness, and then
Okay. Made the screen brighter.
so she said, okay, I made the screen brighter.
Calendar.
And
Tuesday.
she would do the same thing if you decrease the brightness. Okay, the screen is dimmer or whatever. Now, you want to set your brightness on your screen to the lowest brightness that's usable for you, that doesn't make you strain your eyes, because the brighter it is, the more energy that it's required to illuminate the screen. It's just a brighter light takes more energy. So your battery life will suffer, but not by much, but it will. So just keep that in mind when you're adjusting the brightness. But it's better to have it work for you than to be struggling. So brightness is another way, if you're using your vision, to make your phone easier to use. Okay. Any questions about that? All right. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Another thing that we blind persons have trouble doing is taking pictures. But if you have voiceover on, the camera knows this. And what it'll do is it'll help you take pictures. For example, if you want to take a selfie, take a picture of yourself, I'm going to show you how to do this. The way it works is if voiceover is on and you're taking a selfie, you put the phone in front of you and it's going to help guide you until you get your face centered on the screen. And it's very good at that, by the way. So let's go through that in case. And it also works when you're taking pictures from the other camera away from you. Let's say you're taking a picture of a scene. It'll try to describe the scene for you the best it can and tell you if things are off center. It tries to give you audio clues about the picture that you're going to take. So let's dive right into that. So let me do that.
Work switch barred mobile, closing barred mobile.
So the camera is the app you want to use for that. So we go in there.
Camera.
Okay, and so what you got to do on the camera, it's a very,
Face picture. Button 0 people.
so it's already
To
trying to,
left.
it's already trying to describe. So the camera will tell you how you can level the phone, because you don't want to take a picture that's askew, you know, as if you have the phone kind of tilted wrong or right. So if I have it tilted the wrong way, like tilted to the right, it should tell me to tilt to the left or to the whatever. Let me just get something here.
Text detected.
Uh,
0 people.
anyway. I'm going to do a selfie and that'll be a lot better. When I'm going to aim
Tilt
it.
left.
Yeah, there it goes. Now it says tilt left. So I'm going to try to take a picture of myself like originally planned instead of going down this road. So first thing you got to do is you got to tell the phone which camera do you want to use. So if you have the phone in front of your face and the screen facing you, you gotta change the camera to the
0
one
people.
facing you. So that control is down the screen a little bit. I'm going to go and just skip down there, but
Left.
you can find it by swiping. I'm just going to get down there by Explore by Touch.
Use take picture. Button. Camera chooser. Back facing.
So-
To left.
Right now it's back facing, meaning it's facing the back of the phone's camera is the one that's on. Now we're going to change it to front facing.
Camera chooser. Back face. 0 people. 0 people.
Then I'll put it on
One
the,
face near bottom right edge.
so
Tilt left.
it says one face near
One
bottom.
face near right edge. Tilt left.
So I got tilt
Left.
left. And I got to move it towards the upper
One
right.
face centered.
One face centered. And then when you hear that, you can actually take the picture and it gives you like a little thump saying, go ahead and take the picture. So it's
Near
really,
bottom
it's really handy for that.
bottom right edge. Camera.
I hope that didn't confuse everybody. It's not easy to teach this one without you there in front of me. But the
Where are you holding
viewfinder
your
helps.
phone to take that picture, Manny?
What's that?
It's Barbara. Where are you holding the phone to take your selfie?
So it's just like if you're looking at your phone, normal, like if you have it in front of your face, but the camera's on, and then I have the camera, the front-facing camera towards me, from the screen facing me, and then it tells me if my head is in the center of the screen, and what it was telling me is that it's located in the lower right, which means I have to move my phone so that my head appears in the center. And then it also told me that I needed to tilt my phone to the left because I had it tilted askew to the right. So it tells you how to level your phone so you get a straight picture, a nice portrait. And then when your face is completely viewable in the center of the screen, it'll say centered. And then I felt these haptic feedback taps saying, okay, you're ready to go. And then you can tap the shutter and then it takes a great picture as if you were using your vision. It works very well. I suggest you guys try this on your own when you get a chance. So you're kind of guided in taking pictures, which is kind of nice. So before this, there was no hope for us taking any kind of good pictures. So this is pretty much a godsend for us, especially if you want to share your picture with somebody, family or whatever. So any questions about that? All right. Let's see here.
I was just gonna share something. This is
Yeah.
Patty. The A lady takes real good pictures too. And she described, the show. And when I ask her to take my picture, she tells me if I'm facing the camera or if I need to be, she tells me where to move. And then she said, smile when she takes it.
Yeah.
I thought it was very nice.
Yeah. And Patty's talking about, oh, go ahead, Barbara. Sorry. So Patty's talking about the show. That's not the Echo Dot, obviously. That's the show, the big kahuna, the one with the screen on it. It's got a camera in the front and it guides you just like the phone does. And then you can get really good pictures taken. So it's really good technology, and I'm pretty happy with what they've been doing with this technology. So, Any more questions about the camera? All right. So the next guy on my list is forwarding a part of a conversation in a text message. So let's say that I send Barbara something in a text message. Hey Barbara, this would be good for the troops, and I forgot to send it in an email, but she wants to give it to everybody in an email. And what she can do is she can go into the text message, find the piece that I wrote to her, and then she can then forward that piece in an email to whoever, the group or one person or many people. So let me show you how that's done. Okay, so you're going to open up your messages app where your text messages live.
Doc, messages, messages, filters.
Let's see, I'm going to find one here. Let's see.
Conversations. 288.
This is my AT&T. Well, maybe I should try a different one. Let me see. Bobby Young, maybe. Let's see.
Bobby Young. Okay, this is the second test for today.
All right, so I was working with Bobby Young this week, and we were playing with text messages. So let's say I want to forward this text message to Barbara. I want her to have a copy of this. So I would go into this text conversation.
Messages. Your iMessage. Okay, this is the second text.
It automatically puts you on the very last message in the list. So I have stuff from her, stuff from me, boom, boom, boom. And the very last one at the bottom, the most current message, whether it's from me or from her, will be the one that's highlighted. So I believe the way you do this, if I'm not mistaken, is you use you find the piece of text, the message that you want to share, and then you swipe up. So let's try that.
Drag. More.
I believe it's under more.
Selected.
And then the button that they have for forwarding it is at the bottom of the screen. This is just something I remember. You could also read from the top, but you're gonna have to read through a lot of stuff. To shortcut this, I'm just gonna go right to the button coming up from the bottom of the screen. So let me find the bottom here.
Messages. Toolbar. Forward. Button.
Toolbar, forward. Now, if I do that, I hit forward.
2. Text field is editing.
And then
Insertion pointed.
And then I'm at the to field. It knows, it automatically opens it up for editing, so I don't have to double tap to open it up. And if I hit a B for Barbara,
B.
and then I go up here to the search results.
Results. Bobby Young. +1. Diane Bellarati. Barbara McPherson.
I would choose Barbara.
520. Added recipient 2. Text field.
And then I would find the button to send it over.
Cancel.
Oops,
Button.
where is the send button?
2. Text field. Send. Button.
The send button is down in the middle of the screen. It's a little arrow inside of a circle. So it's called, and it says send. And if I do that, then Barbara gets a forwarded copy of this thing from Bobby Young. So that's another, it's kind of a way to share your individual text messages in a conversation. Any questions about that? All right. Here's something I wanted to show you. Online banking. Show you how it works. Not that I think you should do it or not, but it's going more that way. And if you have your phone secured, and of course your banking app will ensure that your phone is secured, your banking app won't even work unless you have a passcode and Face ID and all that set up. But you can do online banking, and what that allows you to do is it's just like if you check it online on your computer, it's the same kind of thing. You can check your accounts, you can check your balances, you can check transactions, you can pay bills, you can deposit checks. Let's say if I give Barbara a check for something, there's a facility on these apps to take a picture of the check, you turn it over and sign it, endorse it, take a picture of that. The bank will then process that and actually put the money in your account, and then you can shred the check when it's done. Works very well. So I'm going to go into mine and I'm going to carefully mask things so you guys don't hear any numbers or anything like that. But I'm just going to go to the things where you pay bills and just show you what the options are. I won't do anything, but just so you can see that they're there. So I'm going to do that now.
Messages, messages, closing messages, camera, closing camera, news.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open.
Tap tool,
I'm going to open my Wells Fargo.
page 2 of 4, face Kindle, page 3 of 4, Wells Fargo.
Okay, that's my bank. So I'm
Double
going to go
tap
into
to
that. I'm going to open that up. So the first thing it's going to do is going to verify that it's me, not only by it being on the phone, but it's going to check my face. It's going to, and I got a stored password in there. So nobody can get into this app except the person with my face. I have to take my face off and put it over theirs or something. But let me see here. Go that.
Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo logo. Image. Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo logo.
Okay.
Message center 1.
So Face ID came up. It verified it's me. I'm just going to go down to the two areas that I think are important. And all these apps work very similar. They're going to be laid out very similar because it's a very simple stuff. The first page is like 4 pages or tabs. The very first page is going to have your account summaries. You know, your checking, your savings, any other accounts you have. If you have a mortgage with them, that'll be listed there. So the thing that's really good about these apps is that you can do bill pay.
Tab bar. Deposit. Tap pay and transfer.
Pay and
Zero
transfer.
Notification. Selected. Pay.
So I can now show you the screen for you visual people. It looks like this. And I'm going to show you what options we have and what options you will have, whether you're using Chase, Wells Fargo, B of A, whoever it is that you're using. Okay. So at the top, I'm going to come down.
Pay and transfer.
Under pay and
Edit.
transfer, I can do this.
Transfer. Button.
So I can transfer between
Double
accounts.
tap to activate.
Let's say I want to move something in from savings to checking or vice versa. I can go into that, specify the from account, the to account, the amount, the frequency, blah, 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 and then okay. And then the next thing,
Send money with Zelle. Button.
I don't know how to do this, but I think this is how you send money to people that have Zelle. And it's a way to send money. You can take it from your account. Then, of course, you would have to have the account number of the person you're sending it to. And then this whole Zelle thing does that. The other thing,
Pay bills.
pay
Button.
bills. So what you do is if I go into pay bills, I would open that up.
Close. Dimmed. Button. Double tap to activate.
It's coming up. Hang on. Taking its time.
Capital One credit card.
So you can choose the payee. So there's one there.
Show tasks. CenturyLink. Account ending in XX9.
CenturyLink, you know, you have the other utilities here.
Chase. Account City of Tucson AZ.
That's the water.
Show tasks. Discover. Show task. Tucson Electric Power Company.
So you can pay your bills here, just like writing them a check, but it goes directly. And it takes a few days, just like a check, but you don't have to write a check, mail it, stamp it, do all this stuff and worry about it not being delivered. This just goes electronically right over. All right, so let me get out of here. That's how you do that.
Message sent to
And let me
one.
see.
Message. Pay bills. Wire money. Button.
I never use wire money, but as it sounds, maybe you can wire to somebody in the country, like the Zelle thing, or wire it overseas, maybe. I have no idea. And then the last one I wanted to show you on here is
Pay mortgage.
if I have a mortgage with Wells Fargo, so I can then open that up. And what's good about that is the whole screen comes up and I can say, okay, just pay my normal monthly mortgage, or I can pay my normal mortgage and then I can add, $1,000 to principal and just do all that right there and then hit okay. And then it all just goes through. So what's happening is that more of the power is being put into the palm of your hand. And it's not dangerous if you manage this properly and if you use your good security on your phone. If someone takes my phone, I'm not worried about this at all because they're not going to be able to get into it because I've locked it down. I would report it stolen and then the phone's dead to whoever has it. So But if you don't have passcodes, you're not using that, then you definitely don't want to put a banking app. Not that it would even work, but you want to make sure your phone is secure if you're going to do secure things. Okay. Anyway, and then the final thing I wanted to show you on these banking apps is you have this
Tab bar. Deposit.
deposit.
Tab selected. In progress. Mobile deposit.
So mobile deposit, what that does is, like I said before, someone gives you a paper check. So you could go down to the bank and take a lot of time and wait in line and do all that. Or you can specify how much it is, what account it's going to, take a picture of the front, flip it over, endorse it, take a picture of the back and hit deposit. And you could do it that way. And this works very well. And the only time it doesn't work is if it can't figure out what the person wrote. That happens sometimes. And then I got to go to the bank and do it regular. But 9 times out of 10, it works great on here. And it always works. And it's valid. And I have the money in there and there's no walking to the bank, no waiting in line. So this is kind of some benefits of having online banking on your phone, you know. So any questions about online banking I can answer? Or all right.
I love it.
Oh, you use it, Patty?
I use it and I love it.
Okay, so you pay bills and all that crazy stuff?
Yes, I pay all my bills with Wells Fargo.
Okay.
Fargo.
Oh, great. Okay, so that's good. All right. All right, so let's go to the next thing since we have no questions about online banking. This might be something of a review. Ever since they released this iOS 16, we've been able to restart our phones using Siri. Has anybody tried that yet?
Yep.
So I recommend that.
Message Center 1 app switcher.
Hang on a second here. Let me close my bank up. I don't like having my bank stuff open. Okay. So
806.
so about once a week or more, you should definitely consider doing this as a matter of course, because computers, since the very beginning of time, since they first invented computers in the 1940s, okay, they've had one big problem, and that's humans writing software, because we don't write perfect software. And the problem is that even though we think we got it right, the computers become unstable and they end up getting errors or not working right. And sometimes the only way to fix them is to restart them every so often. So I'd recommend with the iPhone, maybe once a week, or if you notice any anomalies or if it's acting weird, like it's not supposed to do this or that, or it's not doing something you expect, first order of business is to restart the phone, try it again. If that doesn't fix it, then it's probably a bona fide problem or a bug or something. But the way you have your way you restart your phone is you do this. You instruct Siri to do it. So, hey Siri, restart iPhone.
Just to confirm, you want to restart this device?
Yes. And then it goes off, and in about 30 seconds, it'll come back, and it'll be restarted. So that's kind of how you do that. All of you should be able to do that now with your phone. So, and if you look at the screen, if you can see, my phone is in the boot up mode right now. It's booting right up, and it doesn't take too long. It's not quick. This is an iPhone XR, so I'm already in the ancient territory as far as the phones are concerned.
Manny, Manny,
Yeah.
this is Gina. Is
Hi,
that the
Gina.
same? Hi there. Hey, is that the same thing as powering it off? You know, when you press your buttons on the side of the phone?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. So-
I recommend this, like I said, once a week, because it's really important that your phone stays stable. You know.
Well,
8
what,
to 3 p.m.
if you're turning, Aunt Manny, if you're turning it off every night anyways, you know, with the buttons,
Mhm.
you need to do that with the,
No, just as long as you get a restart in once a week. If you're turning it off with buttons every night, that's great because you're resetting it every night. So it's going to be very solid the next day. But
oh, okay.
but no, you don't need to do an extra step. I mean, if you're already doing it via the buttons, and the way you do it with buttons, by the way, thanks for bringing that up, Gina. But You would press and hold the power button, and then you would get a shutdown thing. It'll say swipe or double tap to shut down. And when you do that, it'll then do the same as if you told it to restart. With the following exception, it's not going to restart. It's actually going to shut down and stay off until you press and release the power button yet another time to fire it back up. So restarting it is a lot easier, and it gets you a lot of, it's faster, and it resets the phone and clears up any anomalies that are in the phone. So, sorry, was someone trying to talk? I'm sorry. Okay. All right, so restarting the phone, let's see. Now here's one app that I really like. So another thing that you can control in your household via a smart app is your air conditioning and heating system, okay? Both Patty and I had the real fortune of having to spend $1 bazillion on air conditioners in the past 2 years. And that is a great racket to be in, by the way, because they make a lot of money on air conditioners. So that's what I figured out. Anyway, the newer air conditioners have this thing called Sensi, S-E-N-S-I. And if you're and the control panel has to support it though. And if you have the app, it interfaces with that control panel. So I guess what I'm trying to say in English is that if you have an older air conditioning heating system, you could put a Sensi compatible thermostat in its place, and then you could use your phone to adjust the temperature. So the app is called Sensi, but you have to have the accompanying thermostat for it to work. I'm going to bring up mine, and hopefully it'll work. Probably won't work in front of you guys, but let me try it. So it's called Sensi. Let me bring it up.
8:11 p.m.
And Patty has it too, and she's always adjusting the temperature of her house.
1, 3, 5, 7.
Yeah, just tell everybody my passcode.
9, 0.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me go to Sensi.
Podcasts. Page 2 of 3. Page 3 of 4.
All right. Where are we?
Double tap to open. Page 4 of 4.
There we are.
YouTube. Sensi.
So it's called Sensi. I'm going to go
Double tap
into
to
it.
open. Sensi. Dashboard nav.
So I'm going to show you what the screen looks like. At the very top, you got these big letters showing you what the temperature is in my home. Right now, it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I can even see that without even worrying about it. I mean, with my low vision, I can actually see that number. But if I want to hear it, I just put my finger on it.
Thermostat dashboard page. 70.
And then if I want to adjust it right here, I could do that, or I could double tap on the 70 and bring it into a full screen mode.
Increase temperature.
Now it's really big. I mean, it takes up the whole screen. You can see the number if you have low vision. And if you want to adjust it, you can hit these arrows up or down.
Increase temperature. Button.
So if I want to bring the heater on right now, increase it to 71, then I would double tap on that.
Increase temperature.
And then I just heard it come on. It just came on. And then the screen turns red. If you can see that as a red color screen, meaning that's the heater. So it's really cool. And when you're away, you can set it. So the reason I'm showing this is because if you have something like this, whether it's this one or another brand, when you leave your home in the summer or the winter and you have your heater or air conditioner on, well, you don't need to keep your house at a real warm or cold temperature. You could adjust it down a little bit while you're gone, so you use less energy, or up, depending on what time of year you are. And then when on your way home, you could fire this thing up and say, you know what, I want it back to the temperature I like, and you can adjust it on your way home. And then by the time you get home, your house is going to be comfortable again, and you didn't waste all that money heating or cooling the house while you were gone away from the house anyway. So this is a really good kind of thing that can actually pay for itself over time. It's one of those cost-saving measures. So any questions about thermostat or Sensi?
Where do you get them?
Sensi. Edit mode.
Good question. So we had ours installed with Gettle air conditioning. They're pretty expensive though, but you can probably get the thermostats themselves. And you would, with help from the salesman over at Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever you go, just say, I need one that has Sensi on it. And you say that word, that's all you need to tell them. And then they'll get you one that works for your system. And you'll have to get it professionally installed, of course, because they got to take the old one out and wire the new one. And then the app and that will work just like nothing flat, and you can control it. And there's a lot more. You can control humidity. You can control a lot of stuff. You can put it on schedules. And I'm just using it to just manually adjust my temperature once in a while because I'm just a simple guy. But there's all kinds of craziness on this app that you can do. So it's very good stuff.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. And I would imagine, okay, if you're talking about price, I would think that these thermostats, $100, $200 max, maybe, if that, because if they're just the controls, they're not part of the real expensive piece, which is your HVAC itself. So I would think the control panel wouldn't cost that much. The bigger cost is going to be having a handyman or electrician hook it up for you to make sure it's all hooked up properly.
Now, if you wanted to turn your lights on with the A lady, how do you go about doing that?
I want to defer that to Patty because she doesn't. Patty, would you mind explaining how you do it?
Oh, no. So they're called smart plugs. So you buy some at Amazon, you buy your smart plugs, and then they connect to your A lady. And then they're actually the ones that the Amazon ones, they're, when you buy it, if you're obviously you already have an account with Amazon, when you buy it, they actually already put your account and stuff inside of them. When you plug them, they already recognize, it's already like syncing from, just by you plugging it. I didn't have to do nothing with this new plugs that we just got. I mean, literally, it was ready to go because you buy them through Amazon. And since you already have your account, it's just, everything is there. The first times when we bought some, Manny had to, both of us were standing in our heads. We had to get a new, a different company to, like two different things in order to connect them to the 8 lady. But the ones that we bought from the Amazon, they're like, everything is set up. And of course, you have to get the app for your phone, and then you manage them with the app. You go on the 8 lady app, and then it tells you devices or whatever. You go to your lights, and then it tells you, you could go through all the lights that you have. I have smart light bulbs and then smart plugs. So it tells you devices or whatever. And of course, my Kasori, everything is underneath that. So once you go on the light and you name them, you name like bedroom, back bedroom, office, or whatever, you put them in groups. And then you could just turn them on and off. And it shows there when it's on or off. Or you could put them on timers. I was gonna tell you also, Gina, the Sensi, obviously that's one, but there's other ones that they're just talking thermostats. And then the A lady has a talking thermostat also.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
Gina, what she's saying, and she said it very well, is that when you get these things installed, if you buy Amazon plugs, the Amazon plugs, Amazon does you a favor. It pre-configures them. So all you gotta do is plug it in and say they're there. And then you give them a name like you call it living room light or bedroom light or nightstand light, whatever. And then you can then say, turn living room light off or nightstand light or whatever you called it. You can actually tell it to turn them on and off. And then for Christmas, Patty got from one of her sons these smart light bulbs, and they're really neat because they're called Philips Hue, Hue, and she got 3 of them. So I helped her configure those and get them set up. And she can go in and change the colors. You can make a blue, red, any color. There's other kinds of things like a tropical thing that I've never messed with. I don't. Did you try that, Patty, with your lights?
Yeah.
Tropical color.
Yes, we were doing the tropical ones, so you could change. I have 3 light bulbs in the living room, so you could change them all different colors. So that was pretty funny. I'm like, okay. At the same time, instead of going in there and picking it,
Mhm.
it was just you just picked tropical and it went to that.
Wow.
And these lights are not just red, green, and blue. They have different shades. They have like sunshine gold, and they have some other ones like magenta and cyan and sky blue and a cool white and it's like a lot. And I was just amazed at the diversity of color that these things have. Purples.
And then you could
all kinds of
also
color.
you could do the brightness, or you could like you could put it
That's
at
right.
real low or very high.
Oh, okay.
Strength.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all with your voice. You don't have to tap on the phone. You can
Mhm.
just tell it, change
Oh,
color to
voice.
purple or whatever.
Hmm,
All
okay.
right. Any questions about
Thank
that
you, Patty.
stuff?
You're welcome.
I owe you, Patty. Thank you.
Sure. Give me another plug. Oh,
Oh.
No.
So there's a new app that Patty and I got turned on to. I don't know if you ever heard of it before, guys. It's called Recycle Coach. Has anybody ever heard of that app before? All right, so I'm teaching something new today. All right. What Recycle Coach does, it tells you when they're going to pick up your garbage and when they're going to pick up the recycle stuff every week. I normally say, well, we can just come on Monday, no big deal. But how do you know that they're not on a holiday like this week? Like we had Martin Luther King Day, so your garbage is going to be staggered. So the app will tell you what day they're going to pick up your garbage if you're not sure. So if I go into mine, let me see.
822, try again. Face ID.
All right, let me get in there.
Audible.
Oops, that's not it.
Page 4 of 4. VLC. Recycle Coach.
It's called Recycle
Double
Coach.
tap to open.
Double tap to open it. It's a free app.
Recycle Coach.
It's a free app, and all they're going to ask you is for your zip code. They don't care who you are, and then the app will give you the information you need. So let me see if I can just shortcut to the meat and potatoes of this. Well, look, here's a screen. Here we go.
What goes where? For exec schedule.
So there's a schedule on the home screen, and the way you find what you're looking for is here.
January 20th, Friday.
So let me see.
January 19th, Thursday. January 20th, January 19th, Thursday. No collection.
So January 19th, Thursday, no collection.
January 18th, Wednesday. No collection. January 20th, Friday.
So I don't know, there's something there, but I don't know what it says. So I guess if I double tap on that day,
January 20th, trash collection 6 a.m.
so 6 a.m. on Friday, they're gonna collect my trash.
Recycling collection 6 a.m.
So on Friday, they're gonna come here instead of Thursday, because normally my days are Thursday. So when you put this app on, you always know when they're gonna show up to pick up your stuff. So you know when to put the cans out to the road. So I think it's a great little app, and it's called Recycle Coach. And I'll put a description of what it looks like and the exact name in the app store in case you guys want to download it. It's a free app, doesn't cost you anything, doesn't care who you are, just cares about your what do you call it? It might ask you for your address. That's the only thing it asks you for, so it can know what to tell you when your trash comes, because they don't do trash by zip, they do it by street. So, any questions about that? All right.
Recycle Coach.
Well, I think there's one more
Double tap to
thing that I
open.
have on my list. Let me see where we're at as far as time.
8:24 p.m.
Ooh, dude, I did this just right. So there's 5 minutes left. Let me close this up.
Recycle Closing recycle code. Sassy. Closing Sassy.
Okay.
Recycle code.
All right. So when you press the home button on your phone or do the home gesture, it takes you to your first home screen. Now your phone is laid out in what are called home screens. Okay, you could have one screen full of icons, a second screen full of icons, a third one with 2 icons, whatever. You could have many home screens, but the first one is the real home screen, the very first screen. So I'm going to do a home gesture to get there.
Home. Calendar. Tuesday.
Okay.
January 7th.
So I'm there. Now, there is a thing on this phone called the Today view, okay? So what it does, it puts together what it thinks you're interested in, and it displays them in a view on a, I don't know if you would call it a home screen, but it's called like a view. It's like, but you can swipe to it. So if you're on your home screen number 1, the one that we just went to, you take your 3 fingers and you swipe to the right, the Today view is going to show up. And this is what it sounds like.
Showing today view.
So showing Today view. So we're just gonna, so what it does, it kind of puts in pictures that you took this day, maybe a few years ago, like remembering stuff you've done, like this day 2 years ago, you took this picture, or and there's other stuff here. Let's take a look.
Calendar. Wednesday, January 18th. Glad raw.
So they've got my calendar up, and then over here they have the weather. It kind of assembles everything that the phone thinks based on your habits of what you might be interested in a view screen. So I have a picture that I took. I have my calendar up, the temperature right now, and then below that I have no idea what else we have. Let me see.
Top stories.
So there's news. So what it does, it tries to figure out what news interests you based on, if you use a news app, what stories you go into and read. So I have no idea what this is going to say. So pardon me right now if it says something weird. Let's see.
USA Today. Here's the biggest news you missed this holiday weekend.
So if I were to tap on that, it would open up the article and then of course read it to me. So let me see if there's anything down here past news, because there's some more stuff.
NBC News. China's for you. Pathetic. Fox News. I bested Apple News Plus, but Apple News Spotlight. Apple News Spotlight.
So that's what it did for me. It just threw about 10 things on the screen. That's what it'll do for you too. So it's the way you get to that is you do the home gesture, and then you take 3 fingers and you swipe to the right on the home screen, and you'll hear it say Today View, and then you can just do a 2-finger swipe up to read that screen, whatever is on that Today View. Then of course you press the home gesture or the button to get back to that home screen again, and of course the Today View will go away. And the Today View will always change. Every day it'll change to something different. So, and that's kind of what I had tonight. I don't know if you have any questions or anything else you want me to go over, Barbara. How are we doing? Are we okay?
Oh, I think we're pretty good. Did you say something that you were going to cover something for Annie?
Oh, Annie, are you there? I'm sorry, I forgot about you. Well,
Anyway, what?
I'm
just say it.
here.
She's here. So what were you going to
okay,
cover
great.
for her?
I'm glad you're here, Annie. So Annie, you, if it's okay, I was going to talk to everybody about that email you sent me about those squares. Would that be okay to discuss with the group?
Yes, and those squares appeared.
Okay. So when you sent me that email with the squares, I saw a picture, and then I saw like in the picture, purposely put little square things in there. So I think, did you see a picture, or can you see a picture at all? I'm trying to see if you have any vision to see that.
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
so you have
That
like a
was-
blue, I'm sorry, go ahead.
that was in my Gmail,
Yeah,
the bottom of my Gmail.
okay. So you forwarded that to me, and I saw it, and it was just a one image, a JPEG image, and it looks like there was some a blue graphic on the left and some writing on the right, and some little square things at the bottom of the picture. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that's it. And they
I
just
think
appeared. They get in the way.
So I think those things were actually part of the picture. They actually put them in that picture. It's actually not something that the phone did on top of the picture. But what it did remind me of when you first sent me that email, sometimes when someone sends you an attachment, like a picture or a file, and if your phone doesn't recognize it, it'll put in like a square as a representation of what that file is, because it doesn't know how to handle it. So let's say that, I don't know, let's say that someone sends you a file and the file has an extension, which is the very tail end of the name. Let's say it's called Manny.123. Well, that .123 tells your computer, your phone, whatever device you have, the type of file it is. And if it doesn't recognize that .123, it'll put like a catch-all square or a question mark in it saying it doesn't know how to open that. That's what that is. I'm not sure that's what happened with you, because when I saw the thing that you sent me, I did see squares at the bottom of the picture, but I think those were put in there by whoever composed the picture. It's actually little, I used a magnifier and I saw them as little icons of computer screens at the bottom. So I think that was an intentional thing by whoever sent that to you. But what caused me to bring this up was, remember when I was talking earlier about the most compatible mode for images in the camera, and I said go to most compatible. That's
Right.
where yours tied in, and I forgot to mention your issue there. So I'm glad that we're talking about it now. So
Okay.
whenever
It
you
happened.
oh, go ahead.
It happened just after I went to 16.2 and I thought, oh, what is this they've done to me?
Yeah, I think in this case, Annie, it might have been a false alarm. I don't know, but I think so, because I have poor vision as well. And I magnified it up and I looked at it real close, and it looks like those squares were meant to be in that picture. It was part of the actual composition of the picture. It wasn't something that was external to it.
Okay.
So I think you're okay on that.
Okay, thank you. I'll let you know if they come back.
Yes, please. And I will put a pin in that and keep it in my thoughts, just in case it happens again, because I could be wrong on this. I haven't been known to be wrong, by the way.
Me too. Me too.
And the other thing with the QR code, would you just take a picture of them or what?
Oh, so it's kind of funny how those work. Quick response codes, that's what the QR stands for. I did go over this about, I think in November or October, but anyway, we'll review this. So QR codes are those little square codes that look like Rorschach tests, like they just took an ink and just splattered it on there randomly. And what those do is that they do an action. That's why they call them quick response. So if you put your camera on it and then you double tap on the camera, it knows that it's looking at a QR code, and then it'll go to the website or do whatever action is that's been programmed in that QR code. Typically, it takes you to a website. So you put your phone on a QR code and you double tap on the screen where it's being viewed, and your phone will say QR code. It'll recognize it. You double tap on it, and then that code will take you somewhere. It'll take you to an app, or it'll take you to a website, a web address, or in the case of Amazon plugs, it'll actually assist you in the setup process. Remember when Patty was talking about how you order Amazon plugs and they come configured really quick? All you have to do is take the code that they put in a little piece of paper inside the box, put your phone on it, hit it, and that code will configure that device in an instant and add it to your A-Lady. And that saves a lot of time instead of you doing it manually. And that's what these codes do. They help us out that way. They shortcut things. So the codes were invented about 20 years ago, and they were used to automate production lines. Like some box would come down a conveyor, and there would be a QR code on it. And the QR code would tell whatever was reading it, whatever robot or whatever thing was reading it, to take that box and send it down this corridor instead of that one. And it was helping them sort boxes that way. that's kind of what they're used for. So it's a pretty good technology. So is everybody confused about QR codes now?
So you're basically saying you aim your camera at it and then double tap. Once
Yeah,
you
long
take the
story short.
picture.
Long story short, like you're taking a picture and then it knows that you want to execute whatever that QR code is programmed to do. And typically the thing that the QR code is on will have some text underneath or above it out of the way, and it'll tell you what the QR code is going to do. Sometimes they don't, but most of the time they do. So it lets you know that it's going to do this if you tap on it. So it just shortcuts all this typing in www.amazon.com/this, boom, boom, that. You can just code it into one of these QR codes and just go right to it. So kind of a shortcut mechanism of some kind.
So is the 16.2 out, and is it okay to download?
Yes and yes, it was released in the mid-December and it's been good. It's been a lot better than the ones before it. So if you're having any issues, the 16.2 should clear that up. And 16.3 should further clear that up. It's going to be released in maybe another few weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you can put 16.2 on and it'll be fine. So
Okay, thank you. And what were
Yeah.
those lights called again for your living
they're
room?
called Philips. The name brand is Philips, and the model is called HUE, Harry Ukulele Edward Hue.
HUE, okay.
Yeah.
Phillips Hue, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you, Patty.
You're welcome.
I don't know what I'd do without Patty. I'd be lost and confused.
But
Yeah.
yes, you would. But you know what? The plugs are a little cheaper also, and they're just as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, the plugs. I mean, the plugs you could. I mean, the light bulbs too. You could use them anywhere. But I don't know. I like them both, but the plugs are just a little more reasonable.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, one caveat is you pay a little more for the Amazon plugs, but the amount of frustration you save is well worth
Yes.
it. Because you could get 3 plugs from a brand like Kazaa, Kazaa, but those are garbage. Once you set them up and you install their app and you jump through 10 hoops to get them all installed, then they don't work very well. They end up stopping and you have to unplug them and replug them. These Amazon plugs are way better, high quality. I never have to touch those plugs once I plug them in. And they may run you up to $20 each, but for this, they're well worth it. And you never have to, you just set it and forget it. You don't have to think about it after that, which is, I like that. So
Well, you just
Yeah.
look, okay, so you look under Amazon plugs.
yeah, you just
Amazon smart plug.
Smart.
that's right, Barbara. Very good. Yes. And then you'll see them there. They'll say Amazon Smart Plug. They're around $15, $20 each. They're a little more expensive than the other plugs you'll see, but that is the one you want. Trust me on this. You know, I wouldn't steer you wrong on that one.
Okay, thank you
I've
very
been bitten
much.
by that already. So
Amazon Smart. Okay,
yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
Well, you guys have been great. I don't know what else. Barbara, if you think we're
No,
about.
I think we're done. Thank you,
So-
Manny.
Okay, we can have John stop it if he's ready. Are you there, John?
He fell asleep.
Good night, everybody.
No,
Night.
no, no,
Hi,
I'm here.
Maggie.
Hello, I'm gonna kill
Oh.
it now, all right?
Okay, thank you, John.
Good
All right, thank you.
night, John. Thanks.
Good
Good
night,
night,
John.
Margot.